Welcome to the Mystery Vault. The arrival is near. Governments are preparing for contact. They've known for decades. They've just been waiting for the right moment to tell us. For most of human history, the night sky has been a silent witness. But lately, it's been whispering back. In the last 2 years, the world's major governments, the United States, China, Russia, and even the Vatican, have quietly been preparing for something unprecedented: official extraterrestrial contact. They call it the event, a global operation hidden under layers of defense contracts, space programs, and public research initiatives. But the leaks are starting to show. Declassified Pentagon files confirm the existence of non-human craft recovered from crash sites around the world. Former intelligence officers have testified under oath that biological entities were extracted and studied, but the true purpose of these programs wasn't reverse engineering. It was diplomacy, because somewhere out there, someone or something has been responding. The first hints came from deep space anomalies, rhythmic signals recorded simultaneously by observatories in Australia, Greenland, and Chile. What made them unique wasn't their origin, it was their pattern. A mathematical pulse repeating in Fibonacci sequence, a universal code of intelligence. NASA's official response: natural phenomena. But just weeks later, military satellites began tracking massive magnetic distortions near the Moon's orbit, distortions consistent with large-scale energy propulsion systems. Inside the Pentagon, the term incoming objects of interest began appearing in internal reports. Outside, global communications networks began tightening restrictions on astronomical data sharing. Coincidence? Hardly. Simultaneously, underground construction projects have accelerated worldwide, vast shelters built under the guise of data protection facilities. And just last year, the UN quietly established a new office, UNOS Initiative 21, officially described as Planetary Emergency Coordination. Its real name inside classified circles: the Arrival Contingency. Across continents, security agencies have been instructed to monitor psychological stability in populations exposed to extraterrestrial material. Psychologists are training teams in disclosure response management. Military scripts are being written, rehearsed, and locked away, waiting for a single order to go public. They won't tell us until it's already here, one former intelligence officer said. But make no mistake, they're not preparing for if, they're preparing for when. And now, for the first time in history, their silence is breaking. The first real leak didn't come from the Pentagon. It came from a forgotten satellite in low Earth orbit. In 2024, the European Space Agency reported that one of its observational satellites, Gaia X2, had intercepted a repeating transmission in an unknown frequency band. The signal originated from a fixed point just beyond Mars, and it was moving closer. The data was classified immediately. But a small fragment escaped, a sequence of 6 harmonic tones repeating every 47 seconds. When translated into binary, the code revealed something chilling: 010010010110. In English, home. Astrophysicists who examined the data called it anomaly interference. But linguists and AI specialists confirmed it wasn't random, it was language. Days later, a whistleblower from the United States Space Command revealed the existence of Operation Skyfold, a coordinated effort between global superpowers to manage public perception of extraterrestrial activity. Their mission: to maintain narrative stability until coordinated disclosure is feasible. In other words, keep humanity calm until the truth could no longer be hidden. Then came the pilot reports. Between January and July 2025, over 200 commercial and military pilots across 5 continents reported metallic crafts moving in perfect silence, often vanishing instantly into thin air. Most of those reports were later deleted. A U.S. Air Force colonel, speaking anonymously, stated, "They told us not to engage, not to speak, and not to record. We weren't tracking them, they were tracking us." And yet, there's more. Documents from the Canadian Space Agency detail a joint mission with the U.S. called Project Solace, involving unknown atmospheric entities detected over the Arctic. Thermal imaging showed heat signatures hovering above the stratosphere, stationary, watching. Those images were never released. But insiders describe hexagonal energy formations, symmetrical and intelligent, the same geometry found in ancient Sumerian carvings of the sky visitors. In May 2025, a private data leak from within SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, revealed the most shocking message of all, a waveform labeled Sequence 19. It was analyzed by AI pattern recognition and determined to carry structured syntax, not only language, but emotion. When converted into audible frequencies, the message produced a faint human-like tone, a voice whispering through static. We were never gone. Since then, governments have gone dark. Public satellite feeds are delayed by hours. Sky monitoring apps have been restricted. And observatories across the world have received quiet instructions from above. Do not broadcast anomalous events. Report directly to the liaison. It's clear now, something massive is approaching, and every world power knows it. They're not waiting for contact anymore. They're preparing for it. By mid-2025, the whispers had a name. Within classified circles, it was called the Arrival Protocol, a multi-nation contingency plan for non-hostile interspecies communication. According to leaked briefings, the plan originated not from NASA, but from the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs, under a subdivision so secret it didn't officially exist. Its codename Project Orison. Orison's mandate was simple: prepare designated landing corridors in remote areas of the planet, train military and scientific teams to establish first contact linguistics, control public reaction through staged simulations and media interference. And the most alarming directive of all: if contact is achieved, defer to Vatican authority for final interpretation. Why the Vatican? Because the message labeled home didn't only contain data, it contained scriptural alignment. The waveform pattern embedded within the signal matched a geometric diagram found on an ancient Babylonian tablet, one that scholars believe represents the descent of the sky teachers. For centuries, these carvings were considered mythological. Now, the same patterns were reappearing in electromagnetic data from deep space. It was as if someone or something was referencing our oldest religions. Even more disturbing, archaeological teams working in Mesopotamia recently uncovered stone tablets inscribed with astronomical coordinates pointing directly to the Orion constellation, the same region from which the home signal originated. Were the ancients trying to warn us or remind us? Governments around the world began running mass psychological models, simulations to predict how society would react if open contact occurred. The results were terrifying: global panic, collapse of religion, mass unrest. Only 12% of the population would remain psychologically stable after disclosure. So, instead of telling the truth, they started conditioning us. Every film, every viral headline, every declassified UFO video, part of a slow narrative recalibration designed to make the idea of extraterrestrial life seem normal, even inevitable. They're not preparing to reveal the truth, they're preparing us to accept it. And while the public stares upward in fascination, governments are already securing first contact zones. One of them, known internally as Site Echo 3, lies deep in the Nevada desert, not far from the ruins of the original Area 51. Another, Site Omega, is rumored to be a floating platform in the Pacific, powered by nuclear reactors and shielded by electromagnetic defense grids. Both have one purpose: to host the arrival. According to insiders, they expect contact before the end of this decade. Not because they chose the time, but because the signal did. Every 47 seconds, the pulse still repeats across the skies. Home, home, home. But if they're coming home, then who left? In September 2025, global radar networks recorded a coordinated blackout. For 11 minutes, every major tracking system across the planet, NORAD, ESA, JAXA, went completely offline. When systems were restored, the data logs had been wiped, but one fragment remained, a set of coordinates, triangulated between the Arctic Circle, the Pacific Ocean, and the deserts of Chile. 3 points forming a perfect equilateral triangle. At its center, 0 point. No one knows what lies there, or maybe someone does. Shortly after, multiple governments initiated a global communications test under the guise of an emergency broadcast rehearsal. But those inside the intelligence community called it what it truly was, the synchronization drill. That same night, thousands of civilians across the northern hemisphere reported strange lights moving in geometric formations, silent, synchronized, deliberate. They weren't meteors, they weren't drones, and they weren't random. Every 47 seconds, the sky pulsed, in the same rhythm as the home signal. It wasn't noise anymore, it was a countdown. Whistleblowers have confirmed that a small group within the United Nations, NASA, and the Vatican are now coordinating what they call the message. The purpose? To prepare a unified statement to be broadcast globally, in the event of undeniable contact. Sources claim the speech has already been written. It begins with 6 words. We were never alone in creation. If that's true, it means disclosure isn't coming. It's scheduled. And while most people scroll through their feeds unaware, the governments of the world are holding their breath, waiting for something that's already on its way. Because when the sky finally opens and the lights descend, there won't be panic, only silence. The arrival is not coming soon. It's already here. They've hidden the truth for decades, but now the signs are undeniable. When the sky speaks, will you be ready to listen? Subscribe to At the Mystery Vault 777 and join the investigation into humanity's final revelation, because the next transmission might not be from Earth.